Now, when talking about the most underrated defensive prospect, this may or may not be a surprise to some people. And obviously from the title and thumbnail, we know we're talking about Daxton Hill out of Michigan. And when I think about underrated, I think about it in two different ways. One, I think he's much better than people are giving him credit for. But more importantly, two, the role he plays on the field as this nickel slot corner and safety all in one is horribly underrated as a whole to the importance of a defense. This safety slot corner hybrid in the NFL is increasingly becoming a lot more valuable, and the draft boards aren't reflecting that. They are expected to play one-on-one coverage against what is now becoming a much more prominent role on an offense. Teams are loading up on their receiving cores like the Rams, Bengals, Dolphins, and Raiders. The second and third options on these teams are consistently getting one-on-one coverage because the defenses are double teaming the other team's number one. These hybrids are having to play a large part in the run game as well, and get physical and make tackles in the backfield in an open space. You just can't throw a linebacker on a really good split out tight end like Kelsey or Waller, or even a slot receiver anymore. This is where a hybrid like Daxton Hill comes in, and he's going to allow you to play him in coverage in zone or man, let him be in the box or over the top as a safety in one or two high, or even a blitzer off the edge. And for a team that has competent corners on the outside, he is going to add so much value to their defense. And Daxton Hill, who is 6 foot, 191 pounds at only 21 years of age, still so young, is an incredibly explosive and instinctive athlete who plays his position so well and should be shooting up people's draft boards. But now that the stage is set, let me show you exactly what I'm talking about and get into the film breakdown, and we can start to look at some of his strengths and weaknesses. So as we start going through this film, we're going to look at the versatility that Daxton Hill brings to a defense, and so we're going to break this up into segments. And the first segment we're going to look at is him playing man-to-man coverage. And I'm going to have to point him out almost every single play because he lines up all over the field, but right now he is man-to-man against a slot corner, and we'll actually go to another angle for a better look. So if you're an offense, this is exactly the look you want. You want your slot receiver one-on-one with a safety, 5 yards off of him straight up. But this is what NFL teams are thinking about changing him to a straight up corner because he has the athleticism. Look how he breaks on this ball. He's going to play this perfectly. He's super twitchy, super fluid in the hips. He ran a 4.3 at the combine, unreal measurables, made sure not to get contact, but goes in to break this up. This is winning one-on-one matchups. And he did it in some really big moments too. 1 minute to go in the fourth quarter, 4th and 10, up by 3. Nebraska's trying to get a play, and they have the look they want. They have man-to-man coverage. They're going to do a switch release fade, so this outside receiver is going to take the inside seam, and they're going to try and get a natural pick route and get Daxton Hill in a really tough spot to guard this outside fade route. The band's warming up to play. They're excited. They're about to get a touchdown or at least get into field goal range to send this game into overtime because this is exactly the look you want, getting a safety in a really difficult spot right this. But Daxton Hill gets through it all, avoids the pick, and then like a corner with his speed, absolutely plays blanket coverage, and that is going to be the game. And here he is going to be in the box, and even though he's only 191 pounds and it probably is the knock that is frame, he's going to have to cover this tight end in coverage. And what do you do with size? Speed wins, athleticism wins, and what he's able to do is use his 37-inch vertical, his 4.38 40-yard dash to play this tight end playing vertically. He's not going to outrun him, but the tight end size isn't going to be able to hold up here as he carries him all the way across the middle of the field and is able to break this up and actually get the interception on this play. In the last play in man coverage we're going to see number 30 Daxton Hill shadowing the tight end coming across, and this is the look that Iowa wanted. Can you get laterally? Can you avoid all of the mess? Can you get over the top of it and plant your foot, get downhill? Because this is exactly the look that Iowa wanted. Get downhill, make the tackle, force the field goal. And this is really where we get to see the type of athlete it is. So we're going to go into his zone coverage. We're going to get into the run game and the blitzing eventually. He's going to fake the blitz off the edge right here. Maybe pull the right tackle's attention, but then he's going to bail out into coverage. And this is exactly where he destroyed the NFL Combine, was his drill work. And teams really got to see how much of an athlete he was as he's getting depth into his coverage, side shuffling, and then right here, boom, plant your back foot, get downhill and attack and go make an open field tackle. Here he is at the bottom of your screen, actually in a slot, reading the quarterback's eyes, playing his zone, making a play in open space. And now to the top of your screen in the slot, you just have to do your job. And he does a lot of things right on this play. So what he's supposed to do, take this receiver before he goes to his curl zone, get your hands on the receiver, throw off the timing, throw off his route, get depth. And when you see it, can you get lateral right now? Because the receiver, if he catches it, if he can get up the field. But Daxton Hill with athleticism is able to go out there and make the stop, keeping him short of the first down. But also Michigan, a lot of the times, especially when it's the quarterback's blind spot, look at this, what you're able to do with his versatility. Almost 10 yards off, 5 yards of depth. This defensive tackle right here is going to win almost immediately, and Daxton Hill isn't going to blitz until the snap of the ball. And when we're talking about 4.38 speed, we're going to see who gets there first. And like he's just shot out of a cannon, he is in the backfield almost immediately. If the quarterback's first read isn't there, this is just bound to happen. Makes a punishing blow on the Wisconsin quarterback. And this is where you start to see the Tyrann Mathieu, the Kenny Moore-like player, safety nickel corner, where he's just going to come in there and make problems. He's screaming off the edge, times this blitz up perfectly. There's no time for late adjustments. Make sure the quarterback isn't going to keep it. It is going to be a handoff. Go wreak havoc in the backfield. This is where Tyrann Mathieu, this is where Earl Thomas later in his career was seen having a lot of success coming off these blitzes off the edge. And if you can't get after the quarterback, or it's not a run play and you can't get after the running back, can you still create problems? And time after again, this is a safety, J.J. Watt, and he did this consistently. Georgia in the playoffs. And if you can't do this, can you at least disrupt the throw? And coming off the quarterback where you can see him, just attack the arm, attack the ball, and at least force a bad throw. And this is going to be a huge shot play, but it's up to Daxton Hill to get there in time, to get the pressure and force a bad throw. And there was no chance of this being completed by Iowa. And now we're going to focus our attention to the run game, and what we have right here is a very young 21-year-old Daxton Hill, very smart, instinctive player. They're going to recognize this formation. The two safeties are going to communicate. They're going to push Daxton Hill down in the box because they almost know what play's coming. You see right here, you see, hey, I'm gone. I'm going to be covering the flat. I'm going to drop down in the box, and they are absolutely ready as he comes and plays outside contain and stuffs his play that was supposed to be a big chunk play for a negative 4-yard loss. So now coming up from too high, now we have him on the line of scrimmage. We have Aiden Hutchinson, the number 1 overall pick in the draft. And on the other side of the ball, we have left defensive end Daxton Hill coming off, making havoc in the backfield. And this can't be stated enough. When you're this versatile, you can be left in for almost any situations. Very similar to a 3-down back that can catch the ball just as good as they can run it, and they don't have to bring in a specialist. We can use Daxton Hill on the goal line. He can man up against this tight end, so whatever route he's going to come and do, he can take care of that. But he's also going to be that safety to play physical in the run game and stuff this run single-handedly. Let your teammates get there, finish the job. And it's this type of versatility that teams, I think, are going to fall in love with this guy. And he's not always playing in the box. He can be playing this high safety. He's going to immediately get his depth. He's going to sniff out the run. And then we're going to get into the combine footwork drill, plants his back feet, runs and attacks, breaks down, and makes a great open field tackle. And this is what makes it really hard when we're comparing him to other safeties and which top safety he is in the draft, because he plays a different role than a lot of these other guys. He's not a Kyle Hamilton who's going to play 1 and 2 high all the time. He is going to be in the box. He's going to be on the line of scrimmage. He's going to be covering. He's going to be coming up and making open field tackles like this. And he is quickly becoming one of my favorite players in this entire draft class. And so now we can get into the things to note, the strengths, the weaknesses, and his player comparison. He is only 21 years old still. He came into Michigan as a highly touted prospect and was considered to be a project, but also year to year, he only made improvements, where it seems like a lot of times when he was guessing, he was always super athletic. Things became much more instinctual for him, and he was going out there playing fast. He is super athletic, as I mentioned before, the 40, the 37-inch vertical. He's great tackling in space, and he has so much versatility. He can play 2 high, single high, in the slot, in the box, and apparently even on the line of scrimmage. But going into some of his weaknesses, he plays incredibly fast, but sometimes it still seems like a guess. He can get burned on double moves if he's trying to make a play out there, and obviously there is still a lot of room to grow. And I do think he needs to fill out a little bit, but looking at his frame, I think it can hold it. I don't think he's always going to be the biggest guy out there, but I think he is going to need to put on a good 10 to 15 pounds of muscle to compare for this NFL change, which brings me into my player comparison. Some people that are doing this at a high level that aren't as big, some guys that come to mind is Honey Badger Tyrann Mathieu. Exactly what his position is, I don't know, but he is always around the ball. He's always in the right place, and he's a very smart football player. I can say the same for Jimmy Ward with the San Francisco 49ers or Kenny Moore with the Indianapolis Colts. And I think this position is being highly underestimated, very similarly to tight end, how they have to be an extension of the offensive line, but also be good enough to be a receiver. I think what we're seeing in a guy like Daxton Hill is this position on the football field is becoming so important, being able to do a lot of things, being able to cover tight ends, slot receivers, and being a big part of the run game. And I really wish this started to reflect in people's mock drafts or what people value on defense. But that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to like this video if you like videos like these. Make sure to comment down below what you think about Daxton Hill, and make sure to subscribe if you enjoy daily sports content. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you so much for checking out the channel, and as always, I will see you all tomorrow. Peace!